a video in response to Toy Addicts. I think he touched on some things that were very important as far as action figures and, standing and, articulation points and paint and whatnot. But more importantly, I think Bobby Vala touched on something that was a lot more important. And I know this video is supposed to be about price point. I am going to touch on that just a bit. But I felt like I needed to kind of piggyback on this one thing because I wish that he would have made this point a little bit stronger. So Bobby Vala talked about progression and not regressing, right? And I think that is something that is so important, that you don't regress. You keep moving forward. You don't take things away, you add more, And Marvel Legends, even though it is probably one of the most popular lines in toy collecting world, I have my issues when it comes to the progression of their action figures. So I'm going to start off with this Mr. Knight, Moon Knight. And basically, if you asked me what was a basic Marvel Legend, I would say this is it. I mean, this is basically built off of their suit body. But we all know that this is supposed to be a superhero, right? And I really hate to be one of those proportion bros or, oh, he doesn't have the right, this should be here and that should be there. But this is supposed to be a superhero. He should look like it. Why does he just look at him? Look at the feet. These feet are huge. Look at he's so out of proportion. His arms are tiny. And it's all because they refuse to make unique parts, when they need to. Like, look at this. Like, that's not really what you want. You don't want your head to just be floating, Does the head sculpt look good? Absolutely. But this is not what you want. Moving on to Crystar, who is a more recent figure, I would say. Look at him. I mean, he looks beautiful, right? Because he's see-through. He has that, matte red going on for him. But again, that articulation, it's rather basic, even for Marvel Legends. And to be honest, I do not understand why, because this figure just came out last year, right? So why are we not having butterfly joints? Why, we got ab crunch. That's typical Marvel Legends stuff, but why no butterfly? I don't understand why that couldn't have been engineered in there. You've made that a standard, right? When you say that, something like this is supposed to be the new, I guess what you say, new quote unquote standard. I mean, is there really that much different? The only thing they've really added is a butterfly joint that, minifigures have. I mean, that should already be standard, right? But, the whole pinless joints, it's great and all, but I don't understand. I guess that's my problem here. I don't understand. This is better. This is definitely better. I mean, that neck's a little long, but it's better. It's better than having a floating head, for sure. And then they give you this. This is the basic Spider-Man Buck. I mean, there's nothing really going on. It's, it's Spider-Man. He should be the most articulated action figure, but, he comes with toe articulation, and everybody's acting like this is like the brand new thing. There's action figures that's been doing that. Again, something that should be standard by now. Butterflies, it's got, look at that. All of the figures should be doing that. At least the ones that, you know, because of course, you know, if you got a lot of armor on something, it's not going to be able to do that as easy. But most importantly, what makes this better than any of the other Marvel Legends I just showed? You can tilt to the side. This should be standard. I mean, don't get me wrong, I've seen better, but look at that. That adds character. That adds more, you know, to the posing. I can do more dynamic poses with that articulation. Why does this have to be reserved for a Spider-Man figure? Why can't this be everybody? You know, like, this is not special. This isn't a special buck. You know, like, it's no more muscular than muscular. Wow. Yeah, that's a word, new word for you. It has no more muscle definition than this, right? Like, and I'm not gonna rank on proportions. I can, but I won't. But look at that. These two figures don't even look like they came from the same place, honestly, if you ask me. I'm gonna move on from Marvel Legends. I don't want to beat up on them too much, but when you're talking about progression, I think you should have uniformity, right? Like, there should be a base articulation scheme. It shouldn't be this one has butterfly and this one has toe articulation. This one doesn't have neither, and this one doesn't have it either, but we're gonna charge you $26, $27, you know, for all of them. They're not even equal, right? So I'm gonna move on to Star Wars Black Series, because he didn't touch on that in the video. Here is Darth Malgus. Mind you, I did some extra paint on here. Whether it looks good or not is up to the eye of the beholder, which is me. So yes, I think it looks all right. But that's not the point of this video. Here's Thrawn. Here, again, Thrawn. Single jointed elbows. You know, there's no ab crunch. You know, he's on a ball joint, which would be the right move, but you kind of need to be able to move in order to use it, right? But this is not a character that I expect to be doing a whole bunch of agile stuff, and that's just an excuse. That's all that is. I'm giving it an excuse to say why it's okay, but in all honesty, no, it's not. That's practically useless. I can't do nothing with it. Here's the kicker. Double jointed knees. Now I know this is before the pinless tech and all of that, which also ain't new, but again, this used to be the standard articulation. You know, I mean, they switched to the single jointed because this, I'm gonna get to that in a second. Here's Malgus. This figure was what, 33, 34, something like that, $35. Why does his knees do this? Why is that a thing? Why, who said this is okay? Why is his knee up here? Like, this is 33, 34, like I said, $36, I think. How is it that the $24 counterpart has more articulation? It works a little bit better up here though, right? That's a plus. But what am I supposed to do with that? You know, like, that's hideous. I mean, I appreciate the soft goods cape, you know, there's a lot of sculpting going on, but really? That's the best you can do, Hasbro, for $36? Come on now. Here's Sidious. Sidious, you know, he has the benefit of being covered in soft goods. He looks great, right? This is a good idea to use a hard shell, you know, plastic hood. You ain't got to worry about posing it and trying to get it to lay down. It just kind of clashes with the soft goods, but it is what it is, right? This figure was also $26. We lift them up, single jointed knees. You know, I guess what you can say is the new basic Black Series articulation. Can't really show you the arms, but it's single jointed too. And, you know, for the most part, it looks all right. It ain't picture perfect, but it's all right. Here goes, I know he's been sitting in the back all ominous and stuff, but here goes Palpatine. Man. In the before times, you would get this. He's fully, you know, hood and all, soft goods. Arm, double jointed arms. Legs, if I can show them to you, if he's fighting me, y'all. Double jointed. I don't understand. And by the way, this set, if I'm correct, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, this set was around $36 too, or $40. So yeah. It came with more articulation. Of course, I'm not showing all of his accessories that he also came with, but somehow, some way, these two figures are the same price. Make it make sense, folks. That's really all I wanted to touch on. I could go on further. I was going to talk about G.I. Joe, but I feel like he did that. I don't understand. I don't understand Hasbro. I don't understand how you can go from this to that, this to that. I don't understand. And you want to charge more on top of it. And that to me is the issue with Hasbro. I don't think it's necessarily a problem with 6-inch figures. It's Hasbro just being lazy.